What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And boy, California can't get a break. The bureaucrats and the government officials there have to be hating life. As Jay Leno's law is coming into effect, it's coming up. They have some big celebrity behind SB712. And this is a California state law. This isn't even a regular regulation or a CRA that you would see from Congress or the Transportation Freedom Act. This alone will give some relief to people with classic cars and people that have older cars that just can't pass the insane smog regulations in California. Now, I'm going to say I feel like this law doesn't go far enough in California, but you got to start somewhere, right? So Jay Leno got together with a state senator and Jay Leno got behind SB 712. And basically what it does is classic cars, these are cars that are 35 years or older, would not be required to do the smog check every 2 years. Now, in California, evidently, you have to bring your vehicle in to be smogged every 24 months. That's kind of a pain in the ass, but, it is what it is. You get what you vote for in your states. Now, what's interesting about this is I feel like this is just a starting point. Now, full disclosure, all of this coming up by the state legislature in California is a moot point. In terms of if the Transportation Freedom Act is passed in the next 30 days or whatever, SB 712 won't matter because there will be no more smog checks. There won't be any emission standards. There'll be a set federal standard that the federal government will dictate, and that will be it. And that would resolve that issue. But to see this, though, I feel like this is kind of common sense, right? This is common sense legislation here in terms of you can't expect a vehicle from 35 years ago. So what are we talking here? It's 2025? So we're looking, damn, it's not even that far away anymore when I really think about it. But the fact that you could have a vehicle from, say, the 70s or 80s and not have to, be required to bring it in for a smog check would probably be a relief to a lot of people. And that's old pickup trucks, a lot of old JDM stuff, all that's, it's just, I just feel like it's common sense legislation, right? And I know what the haters or the tree hugging dum-dums are going to say, no, but that car ain't gonna pollute so much. It's one vehicle. Like even if it's 2% of the vehicle's population, all the other vehicles in that state, especially new vehicles, the emission systems on them vehicles are so insane. Like there was a study that just popped out here recently that it takes 60 semi trucks that you could buy today to pollute as much as one semi-truck from 1988. 60. Well, that same study also talked about cars, right? And we're going to say V6 because it's like in the middle because you have 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder cars. But let's just say V6, like in the middle. It would be the same thing. It would take 92 V6 automobiles from today with today's current emission systems to do as much polluting as one V6 car from 1986. Think about that. 92 cars per one from 1986 to cause that pollution. So I think this law allowing classic cars to be able to be driven on the road again would be beneficial. I got to be honest with you. I love going to Huntington Beach and chilling out on Main Street and watching some of the classics roll down the street. I'm sure people in LA would love to get back to seeing a ton of 6'4" Impalas rolling around and not having to worry about smog. It's I think it's just a common sense rule, and I hope they get it I hope they get it through past, expeditiously. But I think the law is not going to matter, to be honest. I think with what we have coming down the line with the Transportation Freedom Act, it's going to delete smog for everybody, not just classic cars. And I know a lot of people in the comments have been like, oh, well, it's going to go back to the 70s and be smoggy and acid rain and no, sorry. As I said, I don't know if you paid attention to the previous studies, but it's literally like 50, 60, 70 different vehicles to one from back in the day to cause the same type of pollution. So you're telling me in order for this to happen, if they just got rid of smog tests and emission standards, it would take like 60 times whatever the population was in the 80s in LA to pollute. Sorry, I'm not seeing that. And the population hasn't grown that much, nor have the cars grown 60x since the 80s. So that argument doesn't hold water. It just doesn't. Needless to say, I'm glad to see that Jay Leno got behind it. I'm sure it'll make him happy because he can drive some of his cars that are just stuck at Jay Leno's garage because they can't pass smog, I'm sure. It'll be interesting to see. I can't wait for this federal standard to get pushed so that people in California no longer have to pay for California catalytic converters instead of a catalytic converter that works in all 50 states. I think it's just common sense. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of that these days. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We'll be doing another update here shortly. Like I said, we do have the interview coming up here with the EPA where we will be doing a live stream on that so you guys can ask questions in real time. And it will keep you guys abreast of what's going on with the Transportation Freedom Act as it works its way through Congress and gets to the president's desk. Anyways, until next time, thank you very much for watching. I truly appreciate it. It is muscle cars at the strip this weekend, so hence the Hellcat hat, and you're going to see some of the interesting vehicles in the fleet that I don't drive as much anymore. So stay tuned for all that. Anyways, until next time, thank you very much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And as always, stay petty, my friends.